Everyone, this is floating back with another deck again. Today we have another one from Giovanni Moroni at Third Way Industries. It is the Sins playing cards. And you get the Sins Corpus, the Sins Mentis, and the Sins Anima, which is the limited edition one. Beautiful tuck cases, as you can see, and all similar, but obviously there's little differences, especially if you know Giovanni and his artwork. Now, just a couple minutes ago, I was thinking about how this would have been patriotic if it had been red, white, and blue color scheme. That's the American flag colors. But then I realized it is patriotic in a way because Giovanni is from Italy, and here we have the colors of the Italian flag, or the Mexican flag if you want, or numerous other flags. But it's actually fitting. It is in a way patriotic if Italians consider that patriotic, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. The boxes, the tuck cases, they say Sins Corpus, Sins Mentis, and Sins Anima. This one's got kind of a blue and gold with greenish kind of foil with gold. Beautiful embossing as well, which is the raised effect you can sort of see. This one is gold foil, and then there's a black I would say UV spot ink. And then this one is just silver foil with embossing, black ink. I guess it could be black UV ink. Very nice. Onto the sides. You get all 4 pips, and they are different from one to the other, the color scheme. They are embossed. On the other side, more the same. Top tells you the names. Anima, Mentis, and Corpus, at least I assume that's what's on that one. And again, foil and embossing and UV inks. The bottom, you get the Third Way logo, and it says designed by Giovanni, thirdway.it, which is his website. And these are made in China by the Export Playing Card Company. Uh-oh. Well, we'll see. And embossing. And in the back, you see the back designs. Again, there are some similarities, especially between these two, but there are some differences as well. As you'll see, like this one, for instance, you get a moon and a star. And this one, you get that kind of an all-seeing eye triangle symbol also. Basically, little diamonds or squares within that centerpiece, within that star. And this one, you get some fruits, I guess they are, the circles. So, again, minor differences. But overall, yeah, same. Lots of embossing, lots of foil. Beautiful tuck cases. No seals on these two. The limited edition one does have a seal. It also does have a different back design with bat wings and eyeballs, it looks like, staring right at you. And then that star. Lots of circles, lots of details, lots of embossing. And a stamp type seal with lots of symbols and number 937 out of, don't remember how many. Onto the flaps, more beautiful artwork and foils in the Roman numerals for 2017. Come on, focus. There we go. And embossings as well. And then we'll get to the cards. On the flaps, again, this one's got that triangle. It's like the all-seeing eye type thing. It's very embossed, as you can see. You can actually see the embossing. And this one, the same thing, maybe a little bit different. And this one as well. And the inside, you can see they actually added foil underneath that. It's kind of debossed. Embossed on one side, debossed on the other. And the inside of the tuck cases also, you will see, this one's got that bluish foil. And yes, these are red. I lost a couple cards. The insides, again, they got the Roman numerals. Lots of beautiful foil details. But again, it's hard to see most of it, so I'm not a huge fan. I like it. I like the idea, but it just becomes hard to see most of that. Like, can you see that? It's hard to see. That's just the one thing for me when it comes to interior printing. This one actually you can't see because it's white It's actually a little bit translucent, the box. You can see my fingers in there. Not so much for the other ones. Even the inside is embossed. Look at that on the bottom. Anyways, we'll get to the cards. You can see right off the bat, there are differences. Come on, focus. Just in the Jokers, they are basically the same guy, but different hairstyles and whatnot. And you also see that they're similar to the figures in the Eva deck, which I reviewed. Will have reviewed by now. So the first one is the upside down deck, apparently. The first one is the Sins Corpus. These are the Jokers. Unlike the Eva deck, you don't really get the metallic inks, at least not the same metallic inks. But there is a bit of metallic ink, I guess, to it. Lots of gold details. Says Joker at the bottom with that figure. This one you get some red colors and no nipples this time around. And then you get this. It's a bat pillar type thing with a snake wrapped around it. I'm sure there's some deeper meaning to that, which I don't know what it is. But it's very interesting nonetheless. The Ace of Spades has a Roman numeral on top for 2017. It says Sins Corpus, thirdway Industries. And the Ace of Hearts, very interesting with bat wings. Bat wings. And then there's the Ace of Clubs. It's got some vines going on there. And then the Ace of Diamonds. And it's got some axes. That's pretty cool. And then the court cards. Well, actually, I'll show you the Jokers first in all the decks. So you can see the differences. Keep them fresh in your mind. Here you get the bald woman. And again, this one is basically the same, except that one difference is the snake is facing the opposite direction. So he does little things like that. He'll change the direction of something, or change the location of something, or add something. The Ace of Spades in this case says Sins Mentis for Industries at the Roman numeral. And if I were to compare that to this one, you'll see it's almost the same thing. But there are some minor differences, I'm sure. I just can't see them off the top of my head. The Ace of Hearts in this one looks like that. You'll see that the wings are different. And there's also, for some reason, just added a little circle in there. I don't know what that's all about. The Ace of Clubs. This one actually has these little raindrops down there. Some minor differences. And this one has the vines going on. And then the Ace of Diamonds on this one. Looks like that. And this is what the other one looks like. It's got the axes. So you can see little details. He thinks of everything and modifies everything. This one, they got red faces. And again, the artwork is similar. You can see it's the same woman, but different hairstyles and everything. This, again, different. It's got this whole circular thing going on. The Ace of Spades, again, the Roman numeral on top. Sins Anima, Thirdway Industries on the bottom. And again, all sorts of added details in this, as you can see. The hearts and diamonds in this deck have gold pips. So it's not like some creators like Jackson Robinson, who just add like a border detail to the court cards or something like that. Something trivial, insignificant, as you'll see, as you've seen on some of my previous Jackson Robinson deck reviews. No, he actually modifies the court cards, like I'll show you again. Well, you'll see. Like here's the King of Hearts on this one. I'll show you the King of Hearts on this one, just as a comparison. If I can find it. Here's the King of Hearts on that one. Is that just a different border like a Jackson Robinson deck? No, it's completely different. And again, I'll show you the King of Hearts in this deck, and then I'll show you all the court cards. This one, not only is there a pip color change, but again, it is completely different, and they've darkened the reds on the hair. Wow, you know, It's similar to this, different facial hair, but it is different. And also, again, you'll see differences just on the other little details. So let's look at the core cards. And again, it's got the same color scheme as the EVA deck. It's kind of in the same series. However, the metallic inks are not as nice as the USB-Cs, if there is actual metallic inks on there. And you'll see some of the women, the queens, are similar to the ones in the EVA deck. If you saw that review, if you didn't, why the hell did you not? I mean, there's nudity in that one. Go check it out. So yeah, very interesting. That's the one deck. Let's look at the next one. Some voluptuous women, that's for sure. Sexy, beautiful queens, as usual, in his decks. His current decks that are on Kickstarter, at least were when I recorded this video, are actually quite different. Similar, but different, again. And I apologize if I'm going a little bit fast, but there's like 3 million quote cards to look at here. And let's look at the red one very quickly. Not too quickly. You won't find one duplicate in here. They're all different. The jokers are different. And it's kind of like he takes the same figure and he just modifies it. Changes it. Changes the hair. Changes the age. Changes the facial hair. Changes the hair color. Changes body details. So yeah, that's that. The number of cards you'll see are the same from deck to deck, which is fine. Custom pips, very interesting. They remind me a little bit of the this is going way back. It reminded me a bit of the Lance Miller's steampunk decks. I can't even recall the name because of how big they are and kind of elongated. These are different, obviously. But looking at the hearts and kind of the spades, they remind me a little bit of that deck, the Actuators decks. Check out my review on the Actuators. They're pretty interesting decks from Lance Miller, some of his early decks. So yeah, that's what you get for the number cards. Also nice border details. Gold on these zones, and obviously black on those ones. Also, they added a little pip in the opposite corner, as you can see, so to identify the suit for whatever reason. Also, the backs. I know I didn't show you the backs yet. I apologize. We'll get to that right away. I mean, I did show you the backs on the tuck cases, but here's the one deck. That would be the Corpus deck, the first one I showed you. Kind of gold and black. Very nice. Shiny. Here's the other one. It's kind of green, or it's kind of gold and black, kind of a green color almost. Yeah, I would say it's got like greens and golds and a bit of black, obviously. And then this one is completely different, and it's gold and red. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna screw myself up here completely. So yeah, they're printed by Expert Playing Cards, obviously. And they are, it actually doesn't specify what stock and finish it is, does it? Just that's made in China by Expert Playing Cards. And again, unlike Jackson Robinson, he didn't mislead anyone about that. There you go. Point blank on a tuck case, made in China. Whereas Jackson Robinson, with his legal tender decks, blatant advertising for made in Taipei, made in Taiwan, and they were not. And also not as promised, just saying. Let's talk about Jackson Robinson, we'll talk about Giovanni. I apologize. Going off on a tangent. The cards, they handle okay. They got that, you know, kind of a plasticky feel that some people comment on about expert point guard decks. It's kind of a smooth, it's thinnest with some air pockets, some embossing. I don't know the stocking finish because, again, it doesn't really specify. It doesn't say on the tuck case, and I didn't check the project page or anything. It's probably like a classic, finish or whatever. I will say, it is a bit of a thicker stock compared to some of the decks I've been reviewing from USB-C. Kind of a standard stock. Very snappy, as you can see, which is always good. And I'm going to say that these decks are beautiful. Very nicely done, as usual, from Giovanni. I got nothing, wrong with them that I can tell, that I can think of. They handle good, they look pretty good. Well, they handle pretty good. Obviously, it's made in China, so it's kind of a hit or miss sometimes with the decks. A little bit of clumpiness is not a huge surprise, especially being from China and a smoother type of a finish. But overall, I'm going to say for this deck, these decks, beautiful tuck cases, beautiful artwork, different from deck to deck. This one probably handled it best. I'm going to say a solid 10 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time with more. Peace.